Okay, the C.A.G.E.D system, I think one of the tricky things about people learning this is they usually know these chords already. So they're comfortable with the chords, playing them, I think for the most part. So they know the C chord, the A chord, the G, the E, and the D. But I think I didn't realize, I just learned the chords. I didn't know where the root notes were. I didn't know the neck very well. This is extremely important whether you're a songwriter or a rhythm guitar player or a lead player, to know where you are on the neck and why these things function the way they do. So we're stripping away all of the arpeggios and scales for later lead guitar stuff, or maybe even singer-songwriter stuff if you start working this stuff up the neck. But there's a really valuable thing that happens when you can function as a guitar player. This is like low-hanging fruit. This is a great way to get better faster, and they're things that you have to know anyway. So when I designed this course, that's what I had in mind, is how does this benefit people that I teach at my studio, whether they're singer-songwriters trying to up their game because they're going out on tour, or they're going to the studio, or they're playing radio promo shows by themselves, and they're insecure about their guitar playing, and they just kind of move the capo around but know what they're doing. Or rhythm guitar players that, probably aren't as consistent and good as a rhythm player as they think they are. And this stuff really gets revealed when you're in the recording studio or playing live and you listen back to yourself. So again, this is really important, and it helps both camps of people the same way. So when we talk about these chords, it's important that if you know where the root is on the lowest string, like the C chord, if you know the lowest note is C, that's great. But you want to start thinking about where the other C is in the chord. Because as we start moving the capo around, you want to be able to identify this in different ways. So as you look down at your hand for each of these chords, just think about where find the root notes. So on the C chord, it's on the 5th string and the 1st string. On the A chord, it's the 5th string open. And also on the 3rd string, your 2nd finger. Or if you're playing A like that or like that, it doesn't matter. Just know that you can find it on the 5th string open and the 3rd string. The 5th string open really throws people off when we start adding a capo, because they get 1 fret above or low. So that's important to know the distance between, the root note. Like on this A chord, there's this open fret in between with no fingers in it. Now for the G chord, you have a 3rd string open, the 1st string, and the 6th string. That's important to see. And again, the spacing. For the E chord, there's not an open fret behind the 1st chord. It's just open strings. So we have E on the 6th string, E on the 4th, E on the 1st. So be able to find those notes. On the D, our root is on the 4th string open. Again, that open string can cause people problems. And then our 3rd finger on the 2nd string. So just being able to look down and see where the root notes are is really, really important. All right, so let's move on to this next sheet. On this sheet, where I have the C.A.G.E.D chords, again, written at the bottom with the fretboard at the top, this is hopefully to just get people to start realizing where these notes are on each of the strings. So for the C chord and the A chord, the root note is on the 5th string. So when you look at the 5th string on the neck diagram, you want to be able, obviously see and find those notes. Now the G chord and the E chord, the lowest root is on the 6th string. And on the D chord, the root is on the 4th string, the lowest root. So you want to start making that connection to the neck diagram so that you can see how this relates to the guitar neck instead of just moving shapes around. Okay, this sheet for learning the neck. I just wanted to include this so that you could print it off, learning the fretboard, and I would print off a couple copies And I would just start writing in the names of the frets on each string. It'll just help you to see how they come in order each time. Just because the way the guitar is tuned, you start on a different note, but they all just come in the same order. So that's a big realization for people, is the order stays the same, the string tuning is different, right? So you want to start, just make a weird little game out of, hey, can I do this from memory without holding my guitar? Could I just forget the sharps and the flats and just write in the notes on each string, and then maybe come back the next day and just write in the sharps or flats? Like, just make this as a goofy little exercise where you're learning the fretboard and thinking about it away from the guitar, so you're starting to visualize it, because you'll start to put it together with the guitar neck through these exercises.